Welcome to General Chemistry 1. This is Chemistry 1110. It is an online course and you do not need to go on campus at any point to complete this course. If you click on the top name right there, it will bring you back to this screen. This is where you'll see the news items once the course starts. Right now you are in a pop-up window like this. You want to make sure that you click through next and watch all the videos before you click or try to get rid of it by just clicking the X. If you just click the X, it'll keep coming back. If you look on the left-hand side near the top, you'll see the word content. You want to go there. I'm going to show you the layout. So the left-hand side is kind of like a table of contents. The top 3 items are not what you're going to be using to navigate the course, but if you want an overview of the lessons in order, just little links for the entire semester all at once, you can go there for it. There are better ways to look at it for each week, though, that I'll show you in a minute. You can also make your own bookmarks. And the course schedule, this is one way you can get to a calendar that will show you other ways in another video. So tutor.com is a service you can use. You start off with 5 hours, but you can get more. It's free tutoring anytime, day or night. And that means like at 3 in the morning, if you need some help, there's some tutoring right there. You can also ask questions on the discussion board. You can email your instructor. You can, in the fall and the spring, you can go on campus and find student tutors to help. Those generally daytime, late morning to early afternoon kind of times, Monday through Thursday. It varies by semester, and that usually starts about the 3rd week of school. You're in the Read Me First right now. If you want to go back through into these videos, you can just go there. And then the getting started information is a lot of information about the course. That's also covered in another video. This is the part that I really want you to see. If you look on the left-hand side again, you can see it says modules 1 through 15. Those modules match up with all the weeks in the course. So week 1 is module 1, week 2 is module 2. You'll notice when you go to module 4, it also is a test week, as is module 8, 11, and 14. Then module 15 is only the final. There's nothing else in that week besides the final. So all of the modules that don't have a /test beside it are your typical module weeks, and the ones with a test, they all follow the same format, but they start the week with a test. Tests are offered on Sunday, so it includes a weekend, through Tuesday. Now, all of these modules are broken into 3 parts. So you can see here, module 2 is broken, if you keep looking on the left-hand side, overview, and then there's a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. So 1 through 3 have action items in them and learning. The overview, I'll show you in just a minute, it gives you an overview of what you're going to be learning. There's another module just like it. You'll notice on the left it has an overview, part 1, part 2, and then a part 3. So all of the modules without tests are like that. If you go to a module with a test, again, the only difference is that part 1 actually just says test, and it has test resources in it. It still has an overview, it still has a part 2 and a part 3. So expect 3 parts and an overview for every single module as you're doing your learning. Let's zoom in and look at one of these parts. So we're going to start with the overview. So module 2's overview has 3 parts, and they all have these 3 parts. You may not be a big person for overviews, and that's okay, but a lot of people do like overviews. So this top page is your overview page, and sometimes there's videos in here that give you a quick overview, but it shows you the objectives and has at the bottom instructions. Then we're going to use the arrows on the right to navigate to the next one. There's a checklist, and you can click through. It's kind of another way to think of an overview. Is it like as you tap through, you're thinking through the things for the week. And then finally, some people like keywords pages, so every module has a keywords and concepts. Sometimes lists like this can be overwhelming to some people, so if you're one of those people, just don't worry about that one. Now we're going to move into part 1. So you can see once you're actually clicked on part 1, you can see all this information that describes each of the sections. So when you see web page like that one or here, those are learning modules. They're not really modules, but they're going to open it in a new window. I'll show you that in a minute. But every one of the parts 1 and 2, they have these lessons in them, and then they end with a homework that is specific to those lessons. So that's part 1. It's got 3 lessons, has a homework. Part 2 has 2 lessons and a homework. Let me jump to another module. So again, in this one, part 1, this one has 2 lessons and a homework. And then the part 2 has 2 lessons and a homework. So it's 2 to 3 lessons and then the homework. This is designed to take about the same amount of time as something might take when you were in class. Before we click on those web pages, we're going to also look at the part 3. So in the part 3, you have labs and quizzes. So every lab has a pre-lab. I encourage you to watch the pre-labs. They vary by length. It kind of gives you all of the hints and tips and tricks of how to work your way through the lab. Just like you would on campus, you would go to a pre-lab discussion before you would actually do the lab. There is the lab link. You can only get to labs using the lab link. You can't go to the lab website like externally, just try to like save the link or something and go there. It doesn't work that way. And then we have a quiz right there. Now, when you get a grade for your lab, if you come back to this module, you can click on a different link. It says graded lab link, and you can go and see feedback for your labs. And then for the quiz, the same thing is true. There's a quiz link. Once the quiz ends, you can come back and you can watch someone work through the questions of your quiz. So I'm going to go back out and I'm going to go to this one. And if I click on this, this is how you're going to be doing your main learning in the course. If you're on a PC, you should right click and open in a new tab, like on the start course. You want to right click and open in a new tab. It'll resize it so that it fills the screen. But I'm using a different kind of device, so I'm just pushing go. Notice the left-hand side. These are the parts to this lesson, and there are time estimates to them. I'm going to start on the first part. And most lessons have some kind of a video, and it has a review, some comments about a review. They're followed up with a practice. You can click on things. There's sometimes a second video, and then more practice. And again, you can click on different things. And most practices have videos at the end to help you through them. So you can navigate by going over to the left and clicking, or when you get to the end of the lesson, I'm going to get to the end, you can click the continue button and it'll get you to the end. So you need to work your way through all of these different learning modules, and when you get to the very end of them, then you'll be prepared to do the homework. You should also notice that when you get to the end of one of these lessons, I'm going to take us on through to the end, you're going to see a yellow section, and the yellow section has playlists. So these are recommendations. This is a few different people saying the same material in a different way. You can click that little three-lined section and jump to someone else if you like to see someone else instead of the person that's listed at the top of the playlist. So there's a series of playlists you can use, and if you're a textbook person, you can scroll to the bottom of the lesson and you can click on the textbook, and then you can come up. It tells you textbook link, the entire page is relevant, and then when you click on this link, you just have to tap it. It opens up the free textbook, and it's in a digital format so that you can read through it if you prefer to learn in that manner.